It lifts off and disappears. No radar return, no radio chatter. Just a shape that was there a second ago and now isn't. That's the B-21 Raider doing exactly what it was built to do. And that's before we even get to the part that should actually scare you. Because this aircraft isn't just a stealth bomber anymore. It's a quarterback. And right now, the Air Force is building a play where one B-21 controls up to 50 other aircraft at the same time. Semi-autonomous, expendable, and already pushing into the kill zone while the Raider stays invisible miles behind them. This isn't an upgrade to an existing concept. It's a different category of weapon entirely. The B-21 Raider came out of a program called the Long Range Strike Bomber, and Northrop Grumman won the contract back in 2015. The job was straightforward on paper. Replace the aging B-1 Lancer and eventually the B-2 Spirit with something built for the threat environment of the 2030s and beyond, not the 1980s. The first flight happened in November 2023 after a public rollout at Palmdale that left most analysts with more questions than answers. The Air Force showed the shape. They talked around almost everything else. That silence was intentional. The B-21 carries a classification level that keeps most of its actual capabilities off the record, and the Air Force has been careful not to change that. What we do know is that the B-21 isn't just a low observable aircraft. The B-2 was low observable too, and it was extraordinary for its time. But the B-2 was designed around a fixed set of threats, built with systems that couldn't easily be swapped out as those threats evolved. Maintaining it was expensive, updating it was slow, and the production line closed after just 21 airframes. The B-21 was designed around a completely different idea. Its architecture is open, meaning new sensors, new software, new mission systems can be pushed into it as the threat environment changes. The same way you'd update an operating system rather than buy a new computer. That's not a small distinction. It means the aircraft you field today isn't locked into the capabilities it launched with. The Air Force keeps describing the B-21 as a system of systems, and that phrase keeps getting glossed over in most coverage. But it's actually the most important thing they've said publicly about it. They're not talking about a bomber that carries bombs. They're talking about a node, a command and control platform that happens to also carry weapons, and that happens to be invisible to radar. The Raider sits at the center of a network, and the network is what does the fighting. That brings us to the piece of this story that changes everything. The B-21 wasn't built to fly alone, it was built to lead. The Collaborative Combat Aircraft Program, CCA, is the other half of that equation, and we'll get into exactly what 50 of those aircraft under one bomber's control looks like in a few minutes. But first, you need to understand why the Air Force felt forced to rethink the whole model in the first place, because stealth by itself stopped being a guaranteed solution a long time ago. For most of the Cold War and into the 1990s, a stealth aircraft operating at night in a contested environment was close to untouchable. The radar cross-section was small enough that surface-to-air missile systems couldn't reliably track it, and that was enough. One aircraft, one crew, one target destroyed, no one even knew you were there. That window closed, not all at once, but steadily, as adversaries watched what happened in Kosovo and Iraq and started writing very large checks. China and Russia both invested heavily in what the military calls integrated air defense systems. Layered networks of radar, surface-to-air missiles, and fighter interceptors that are designed to overlap their coverage areas so there's no clean gap to fly through. China operates the HQ-9 family of missiles, which are capable against low observable targets at long range. Russia has the S-400, and the S-500 is already in limited deployment, specifically engineered to track stealth profile aircraft at higher altitudes. And increasingly, these networks don't rely on a single radar. They fuse data from multiple sensors across different frequencies, which makes any individual aircraft much harder to hide from the system as a whole. A single B-2 flying into that environment in 2025 isn't the same proposition it was in 1999. The math has shifted. There's also an attrition problem that doesn't get discussed enough. The B-2 production line is gone. 21 aircraft exist, and if one gets shot down, it's gone permanently. No replacement coming, no restart possible. The Air Force cannot afford to trade stealth bombers for targets, even high-value ones. One loss doesn't just hurt the mission, it shrinks the entire long-range strike fleet by nearly 5% overnight. So planners started working through a different logic. Instead of sending one irreplaceable aircraft to do everything, what if one expensive aircraft commanded many cheap expendable ones? The expensive aircraft stays safe, the cheap ones absorb the risk, and the enemy has to spend far more shooting down the swarm than the swarm costs to build and launch. That's the cost asymmetry the CCA program was built on, and it's the reason the B-21's quarterback role isn't just an interesting capability. It's the answer to a problem the Air Force couldn't solve any other way. So what does it actually look like when one aircraft runs 50 others through a contested airspace? Start with the B-21's avionics architecture, because that's what makes any of this possible. The open architecture design we talked about earlier wasn't just built for software updates, it was built for throughput. The aircraft can pull in sensor data from dozens of platforms simultaneously, fuse it into a single operational picture, and push updated mission parameters back out in near real time. That kind of processing load would have been impossible to pack into a bomber a generation ago. Now it's the whole point of the platform. In practice, the B-21 stays well outside the range of the surface-to-air missile networks protecting a target. The CCAs go forward. They're not being flown by a pilot with a joystick from inside the Raider. They're semi-autonomous aircraft that receive a mission package and execute it on their own. The B-21 sets the objectives. The CCAs figure out how to meet them. That distinction matters because it means the system doesn't break down if a communications link gets jammed or degraded. The aircraft keep prosecuting the mission. The swarm can be split across several different roles depending on what the target requires. Some CCAs get tasked to saturate enemy radar systems, forcing them to light up and reveal their positions. Others push enemy fighter interceptors into engagements, burning their fuel and their missiles against aircraft that cost a fraction of what a manned fighter costs. And some carry their own strike payloads directly to hardened targets that the B-21 never needs to approach within hundreds of miles of. The 50 aircraft figure comes from Air Force public statements about the scale of the CCA program. The service is developing the capability in 2 increments. Increment 1 focused on aircraft that can operate as attritable wingmen with basic autonomy. Increment 2 pushing toward more advanced decision-making and expanded mission sets. The XQ-58 Valkyrie has been the most publicly visible candidate in that first increment, a low-cost supersonic unmanned aircraft already tested in real flight conditions alongside manned platforms. The survivability logic here is worth sitting with for a second. If an adversary shoots down 20 CCAs, defending a single high-value target, the mission still completes. The B-21 crew never entered the threat envelope. From a military accounting standpoint, that's a win, even if a fifth of the swarm doesn't come home, because the aircraft that got shot down were built to be expendable, and the one that wasn't is already turning back toward base. That math opens up target sets that have been effectively off the table for years. Deeply buried command facilities, carrier killer missile batteries positioned behind multiple layers of air defense, hardened nuclear infrastructure. Missions where the risk of losing a manned aircraft was high enough that planners couldn't justify the strike. With the B-21 quarterback model, those calculations change completely. There's also a dimension to this that no one on the receiving end can ignore. When your radar starts picking up contacts, you don't know if you're looking at a probing swarm running reconnaissance or whether the B-21 is already overhead and the contacts are just there to keep your attention pointed in the wrong direction. That uncertainty alone is a weapon. China spent the last 2 decades building a problem. The strategy is called anti-access/area denial, A2/AD, and the basic idea is to make the Western Pacific so dangerous for American aircraft and carrier groups that the US couldn't realistically intervene in a Taiwan scenario before the operation was already over. Layered missile batteries, advanced fighter coverage, over-the-horizon radar. The whole architecture was specifically sized and positioned to neutralize the tools the US has historically relied on. The B-2 was one of those tools. So were the carrier strike groups. And for a while, the A2/AD investment looked like it was working as intended. The cost and risk of penetrating that envelope kept climbing, and American planners had no clean answer. The B-21 swarm model doesn't try to find a gap in that wall. It floods the wall with aircraft the adversary has to respond to, while the actual threat platform stays invisible on the other side of the horizon. That's a fundamentally different problem to defend against, and China's existing A2/AD infrastructure wasn't designed to solve it. Shooting down 50 expendable aircraft while the bomber that directed them flies home undetected isn't a victory. It's exactly the outcome the Air Force designed for. Production numbers matter here. The Air Force has stated it wants a minimum of 100 B-21s, with some estimates going up to 145. That's a fleet large enough to run concurrent operations across multiple theaters without exhausting the inventory on a single campaign. And it's not theoretical anymore. Ellsworth Air Force Base in South Dakota has already been designated as the first operational B-21 wing, which means the transition from test program to fielded weapon system is already underway. The same logic that applies to the Pacific applies to other theaters too. Iranian air defenses have been substantially modernized over the past decade, in large part with Russian-supplied technology. The same systems that were designed to complicate B-2 operations are now sitting inside Iranian territory. Against the B-21 quarterback model, those defenses face the same structural problem China does. They're built to track and engage what's in front of them, not to account for a command node that never enters their range. On the deterrence side, the B-21's most immediate effect isn't destruction. It's the cost it forces on adversaries who want to stay competitive. Building a defense architecture capable of reliably countering a networked swarm directed by a stealth bomber that operates at range requires an enormous sustained investment. Sensors, interceptors, AI integration, command infrastructure. Every dollar an adversary spends trying to answer this is a dollar not spent somewhere else. The program is still evolving. Block 2 upgrades are in development, nuclear certification is expected eventually, and the Air Force has stayed deliberately quiet about what directed energy or advanced electronic warfare payloads might look like on future variants. The most dangerous aircraft in the sky right now might never fire a single weapon on its most important missions. It'll just watch, invisible, out of range, while 50 other aircraft do the work and adversaries burn through everything they have trying to stop them. The United States' new 6th-generation bomber, the B-21 Raider, has captured global attention for its advanced technology and lethal capabilities. Now rumors suggest that North Korea may have acquired one, acknowledging its sophistication, which has sparked worldwide curiosity. On the other hand, China, a longtime rival of the U.S., has expressed concerns over the Raider's strategic potential, further fueling global debate. Does North Korea truly possess the B-21 Raider in its arsenal? Can China's upcoming H-20 bomber rival the Raider in stealth, range, and technology? Join us as we explore the capabilities of the United States B-21 Raider that the whole world is afraid of. Although it's unlikely for North Korea to ever acquire the B-21 Raider, the nation has expressed both respect and concern for this advanced bomber. A recent report from North Korean state-run media has revealed the growing concerns about the United States military's new stealth bomber, the B-21 Raider, which made its first test flight in November 2023. According to the Rodong Sinmun newspaper, this new bomber is being seen as a very serious nuclear threat, strikes showing the world that Washington is willing to use its nuclear weapons in unexpected ways. North Korea's state media emphasized that the B-21 has the ability to launch an unexpected nuclear strike anywhere, a phrase that suggests its advanced capabilities in stealth technology and nuclear strike precision. Also, the test flight of this new generation of strategic bombers is a clear demonstration of the United States putting its nuclear preemptive strike tactics into practice. Such a development sends a powerful message, and anyone can easily guess the implications of the U.S. showcasing this new weapon. The journey to create the B-21 Raider began in 2011, setting the stage for a fierce competition between two aerospace giants, a Boeing-Lockheed Martin partnership and Northrop Grumman. Both companies presented their visions for the next-generation stealth bomber, but Northrop Grumman's extensive experience with the B-2 Spirit and its promise of affordability gave it the winning edge. The Air Force ultimately awarded the contract to Northrop Grumman in 2015, impressed by the company's ability to balance advanced capabilities with economical costs, a lesson learned from the astronomical expenses of the B-2 program, which saw each aircraft priced at amounts comparable to the GDP of some small nations. To meet the Air Force's demanding requirements while keeping costs in check, Northrop Grumman assembled a vast network of over 400 suppliers from 40 states. This collaboration spanned years, including the challenging period of the COVID-19 pandemic, with suppliers operating continuously to ensure progress. Among these suppliers were 7 globally renowned Tier 1 companies. These included Pratt & Whitney, known for its advanced jet engines, Europe's largest defense contractor, BAE Systems, Spirit AeroSystems, the leading manufacturer of aerostructures, and other major contributors like Northrop Grumman's Orbital ATK, Rockwell Collins, GKN Aerospace, and Janicki Industries. Together, these companies and Northrop Grumman developed a stealth bomber, the B-21 Raider. With a unit cost of $630 million, this bomber is not only 68% more cost-effective than the B-2, but also significantly more advanced. This achievement reflects over 2 decades of technological progress, making the B-21 a marvel of modern engineering. Despite its affordability compared to its predecessor, the B-21 retains unparalleled capabilities that redefine what a stealth bomber can accomplish. What makes the B-21 Raider especially significant is its long development period. The aircraft has been in the works for over 30 years, and its name is a tribute to the Doolittle Raid, a famous World War II mission which was led by Lieutenant Colonel James Doolittle. In 1942, Doolittle led a bombing raid on Japan, which marked a critical moment in the war. By naming the new bomber after this historical event, the U.S. sends a symbolic message about its commitment to strategic military power and its readiness to act when necessary. The U.S. Department of Defense has repeatedly stated that the role of its nuclear weapons is to deter nuclear attacks on the nation and its allies. According to the Pentagon's 2022 Nuclear Posture Review, the U.S. would only use nuclear weapons in extreme cases to defend its vital interests or those of its partners. However, the development of the B-21 Raider and other advanced military technologies shows that the U.S. is preparing for scenarios where it may need to carry out preemptive strikes to protect its security. On the other hand, North Korea has remained defiant in its nuclear stance. In September 2022, the country codified its irreversible nuclear weapons program into law, which includes provisions for the preemptive use of nuclear weapons. North Korea's leadership has repeatedly stated that it may resort to nuclear strikes if its leadership or nuclear infrastructure is threatened by hostile forces. This law further escalates tensions in the region, with North Korea maintaining its aggressive stance in nuclear weapons development. The military presence of the United States in the region has increased in recent months as part of efforts to deter North Korean aggression. American bombers, such as the B-52H Stratofortress, have made notable appearances over the Korean Peninsula, including a landmark landing in South Korea on October 17, 2023, the first time in 30 years. This was followed by a joint aerial exercise involving the B-52, U.S. F-16 fighter jets, and South Korean F-15K Slam Eagles. These maneuvers were intended to strengthen military cooperation between the U.S., South Korea, and Japan in response to North Korea's missile and nuclear provocations. Washington, Seoul, and Tokyo have repeatedly emphasized their commitment to working together to prevent North Korea from continuing its nuclear and ballistic missile tests. North Korea's missile activity has been relentless, with 23 ballistic missiles fired in just 15 days in 2023 alone. These ongoing tests are seen as a direct challenge to regional stability, and the U.S. and its allies are determined to prevent further escalation. Earlier this year, North Korea claims it has tested a new intermediate-range ballistic missile equipped with a hypersonic warhead, saying it can contain any rivals in the Pacific region. The missile, launched on Monday, was the first test in 2 months and coincided with U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken's visit to Seoul for discussions with South Korean leaders. Hypersonic weapons, capable of traveling over 5 times the speed of sound, are hard to detect and intercept. North Korea says this missile reached speeds 12 times faster than sound and flew 1,500 kilometers. However, South Korea's military reported it traveled 1,100 kilometers, before falling into the sea and condemned the launch as a provocation. Pyongyang claims the missile has advanced features like a new flight control system and a carbon fiber engine. Leader Kim Jong-un stated the launch demonstrated North Korea's readiness to protect its interests. Why is North Korea worried about the United States' next-generation bomb? Let's move on to features of this next-generation bomber. In terms of design, the B-21 Raider shares some similarities with its predecessor, the B-2 Spirit. Both aircraft feature a bat-like tailless shape, a design that minimizes radar detection by avoiding sharp angles. However, there are important differences. For instance, while the B-2 has its engines placed further away from the body of the aircraft, the B-21's engines are located closer to the wing root, where the wing and fuselage meet. This shift in engine placement is a key design decision, allowing for better stealth and efficiency. The engine air intakes of the B-21 are also distinct, angled differently compared to the B-2's serrated intakes. Additionally, the B-21 is designed with overwing exhaust to mask the infrared signature of its engines, a feature not seen on the B-2. Interestingly, this overwing exhaust design was first proposed in an artist's rendering of the B-2 back in 1988, showcasing how ideas have evolved over time. The B-21's size is expected to be similar to that of the B-2, which makes it likely to be a 4-engine bomber. This size would give it a large payload capacity, necessary for carrying both conventional and nuclear weapons. In 2016, Pratt & Whitney was announced as a subcontractor for the B-21, confirming that it would use one of two engine types, the F-100 or the F-135. The F-100, which powers the F-15 Eagle fighter jet, is a proven, reliable engine. However, the Air Force might opt for the F-135, the same engine used in the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter due to its growth potential and the opportunity to streamline maintenance costs across multiple aircraft platforms. Like its predecessor, the B-21 will be a strategic bomber capable of carrying both nuclear and conventional weapons. Given its similar size to the B-2, the B-21 will likely feature two bomb bays. To keep costs under control, the Air Force may reuse the Advanced Applications Rotary Launcher from the B-2, which fits in each bomb bay and can carry up to 8 bombs or missiles. This will ensure that the B-21 can carry a substantial payload, making it an effective asset for long-range bombing missions. One of the most important features of the B-21 will be its role in nuclear deterrence. For this mission, the Air Force will likely equip the B-21 with the Long-Range Standoff Missile, a precision-guided nuclear weapon designed for long-range strikes. This missile will allow the B-21 to strike high-value targets with minimal risk, as it will be launched from a distance beyond the reach of enemy defenses. The second weapon is the B-61 series of nuclear gravity bombs, particularly the new B-61-12, which has a unique dial-a-yield capability. This means that the power of the bomb can be adjusted to fit the target, allowing for precise and flexible attacks. In a typical nuclear mission, the B-21 will use its stealthy LRSO missiles to clear a path through the enemy's air defenses before dropping B-61 bombs on primary and secondary targets, ensuring maximum damage while minimizing the risk to the bomber. In addition to its nuclear capabilities, the B-21 will also be able to carry out conventional missions, making it a versatile weapon system. For these operations, it will be armed with the Joint Air-to-Surface Standoff Missile Extended Range, a long-range conventional cruise missile, as well as the 2,000-pound GBU-31 Joint Direct Attack Munition Bombs, which are guided by satellites to strike targets with pinpoint accuracy. The B-21 will use these weapons in a similar way to its nuclear weapons, first blasting its way through enemy defenses with the JASSIS MERs and then delivering JDAMs to destroy critical targets. In some missions, the B-21 could serve as a missile truck, launching up to 16 JASSIS MERs from a safe distance. Alternatively, it could fly into less defended airspace, using its stealth to penetrate enemy lines and deliver JDAMs directly onto the target. Additionally, the B-21 will carry the Massive Ordnance Penetrator, a 30,000-pound bomb that is currently only carried by the B-2 bomber. This massive bomb is designed to penetrate deeply buried or hardened targets, and the B-21 will be able to carry and deploy it, expanding its ability to take on a wide range of tough missions. One of the most innovative features of the B-21 Raider is its open architecture design. Unlike previous bombers, the B-21 is being built with a flexible hardware and software system that can easily be updated over time. This means that the bomber will not be limited to just one role, but can evolve as new technologies and missions emerge. The B-21's weapons bay could eventually transform into a mission payload bay, capable of carrying not only bombs and missiles, but also surveillance equipment, communication systems, drones, and electronic warfare packages. This makes the B-21 adaptable to many different roles, particularly in denied or contested environments where traditional bombers might struggle. As a result, the B-21 Raider is on track to become the first multi-role bomber for the United States, capable of executing a variety of missions far beyond its initial nuclear and conventional strike capabilities. The B-21 is expected to take to the skies in the mid-2020s, with the Air Force planning to acquire at least 100 of these bombers to replace older models like the B-52-0H Stratofortress and B-1B Lancer. A larger fleet of up to 200 bombers is possible, depending on funding and budget considerations. However, the exact details of the B-21's design and capabilities remain highly classified, as the U.S. military wants to protect its technological advantages. The B-21 has effectively disappeared into the black world of military technology, with the public only expected to see it once it is fully ready for service. When it does reemerge, however, it will mark a major leap forward in both the bomber's operational capabilities and the future of air combat. Now, let's compare the capabilities of this U.S. bomber with those of China's next-generation bomber. The competition between the United States and China in the development of next-generation bombers is intensifying, with both nations striving to establish dominance in stealth technology, firepower, and aviation innovation. At the heart of this race are the American B-21 Raider and China's Xi'an H-20 bomber, two of the most advanced strategic bombers ever conceived. The Chinese H-20 has been in development for several years, with its initial renderings emerging around the same time as those of the B-21 Raider. Analysts believe that China's future position in strategic bombing depends heavily on the success of the H-20. The aircraft is expected to be a key component of China's military modernization, aiming to rival or surpass the capabilities of its American counterpart. However, the United States, with its decades of experience in designing stealth aircraft, has a considerable head start. The B-21 Raider, on one hand, incorporates advanced design features such as serrated skin panels, fiber matte coatings, and a flying wing shape to minimize radar detection. Its engines are cleverly concealed to reduce infrared visibility, and it will be painted with anti-reflective materials to blend seamlessly into the sky during daylight operations. At altitudes exceeding 50,000 feet, its dark underside ensures that it merges with the upper atmosphere. An onboard light sensor further enhances its stealth capabilities, allowing pilots to adjust altitude in response to changing light conditions. To maintain these advanced stealth features, the B-21 may require specialized storage in air-conditioned hangars, costing millions of dollars. China's H-20, on the other hand, is expected to employ a flying wing design similar to the B-21, leveraging lessons from the J-20 stealth fighter. It will likely incorporate advanced radar cross-section reduction features, including a chimed forebody, a modified radar radome, and an electroconductive canopy. Other features such as serpentine air ducts, a flat fuselage, and sawtooth edges are expected to contribute to its stealth performance. However, the United States has a significant advantage in stealth technology, with the F-35 and B-2 Spirit already setting benchmarks in radar evasion. The B-21 Raider is designed to be even stealthier than these predecessors, making it a formidable challenge for China to match. The B-21 is expected to feature state-of-the-art avionics, providing unparalleled situational awareness, communication capabilities, and integration with other military assets. Its sensors and data sharing systems will make it a central component of a networked battlefield, enhancing its role beyond that of a traditional bomber. But some of its key features include a multi-mode radar, a fully digital navigation system that combines a terrain-following radar, GPS guidance, and an astro-inertial navigation system. This last feature allows the B-21 to navigate using celestial bodies in space, ensuring precise operations even in challenging environments. The bomber is also equipped with an active electronically scanned array radar, an electronic warfare system, a distributed aperture system, and an electro-optical targeting system. These advanced sensors and systems provide unmatched situational awareness, enabling the B-21 to detect, track, and engage targets effectively. To support battlefield communication, the aircraft uses Link 16 and a high-frequency satellite link, ensuring real-time data sharing with other assets during missions. One of the B-21's most remarkable innovations is its defensive management system. This system alerts the flight crew to potential threats in the area, allowing them to make mid-flight adjustments to their mission plan. The aircraft can quickly process new information, rerouting its course to minimize exposure to detected dangers. This capability ensures the safety of the crew and increases the bomber's survivability in high-threat environments. The B-21 is also designed to act as a key player in the sensor fusion network, making it not only a powerful bomber, but also an effective battle manager. This integration enables it to gather, process, and share data with other assets in the fleet, enhancing overall mission effectiveness. For maintenance and reliability, the aircraft features an onboard test system that continuously monitors the performance of thousands of components, ensuring optimal functionality throughout the mission. In terms of firepower and operational range, the B-21 Raider is designed to carry a diverse array of nuclear and conventional weapons. Its long-range capabilities enable it to strike targets anywhere in the world without requiring in-flight refueling, making it a versatile and strategic asset. The H-20, on the other hand, is expected to focus on regional power projection, with an emphasis on targeting U.S. military installations in the Pacific. While it may have strong operational range and payload capacity, it is unlikely to match the global reach and versatility of the B-21. In terms of armament, the B-21 is built to carry over 30,000 pounds of weapons, making it a formidable force on the battlefield. Its arsenal includes advanced nuclear weapons like the B-61 variable yield gravity bomb and long-range standoff nuclear cruise missiles. Additionally, it can carry a variety of conventional weapons, including Lockheed Martin's long-range anti-ship missile and Boeing's GPS-guided joint direct attack munition. These weapons allow the B-21 to engage targets from long distances, making it a versatile and stealthy platform capable of operating in contested areas like the South China Sea. In comparison, China's H-20 bomber, while still shrouded in secrecy, is believed to have similar capabilities, though its specifics remain unconfirmed. Reports suggest it may carry up to 20,000 pounds of armament, enabling it to threaten U.S. targets as far away as Hawaii. However, the B-21 currently has an edge in terms of confirmed capabilities and technological advancements, giving the U.S. a significant strategic advantage. Nuclear warheads are the most destructive weapons known to mankind, and Russia possesses more than 6,000 of them, more than any other nation, including the United States. The sheer amount of this power in the hands of a country that isn't an ally, combined with worries that Russia might use these weapons in its conflict with Ukraine if things don't go their way, is a huge concern for the U.S. To address this threat, the U.S. military has developed some of the fastest aircraft ever, the B-21 Raider. But what exactly makes the B-21 Raider so special? Join us as we unveil why Russia is terrified by the new U.S. B-21 bomber. This state-of-the-art bomber is a more advanced version of the B-2 Spirit. The B-21 Raider is designed to showcase the power of the U.S. Air Force, much like the B-2 does today, sending a strong message to potential adversaries, just as the B-2 currently does in places like Australia. Australia is a crucial ally and friend to the U.S., so when China started acting aggressively towards its friend in the Indo-Pacific region, the U.S. quickly boosted its military presence in Australia. They did this by sending 4 B-2 Spirit stealth bombers, which are now stationed at the Royal Australian Air Force Base in Amberley, Queensland. This powerful display sends a message to China that the B-2 bombers, originally designed during the Cold War to counter Russia, are fully capable of targeting Chinese threats as well. These 4 B-2 bombers make up 20% of the entire U.S. Air Force's B-2 fleet and are a key part of America's long-range strike capabilities. Each B-2 bomber costs $2 billion, making it the most expensive aircraft ever built and extremely powerful. Since its introduction 25 years ago, it remains the stealthiest aircraft in operation. With a range of over 11,500 miles on a single refueling, the B-2 can reach any location in the world within hours, capable of deploying up to 16 nuclear bombs while staying virtually undetectable. The B-2 bomber is a marvel of aviation, but it's about to get a successor that will outshine it in every way. Introducing the B-21 Raider, a cutting-edge bomber set to make its first flight in 2023. The B-21 Raider is designed to be a long-range, heavy payload, stealth bomber capable of striking targets across the globe with both conventional and nuclear weapons. Northrop Grumman, the same company behind the B-2, is developing the B-21 Raider. This new bomber is packed with advanced technology, making it a fifth-generation global precision attack platform. It will feature network sensors and shooting capabilities, ensuring it can hit targets accurately and stay relevant in the 21st century. This is why it's named the B-21, symbolizing its role as the bomber for the 21st century. Despite being the latest and greatest, the B-21 will initially operate alongside older bombers like the Rockwell B-1 Lancer, Boeing B-52 Stratofortress, and the B-2 Spirit. Eventually, it will replace these older models. Northrop Grumman's winning bid was no surprise given their extensive experience with the B-2. To bring the B-21 to life, Northrop Grumman is collaborating with a top-tier team of 7 of the world's largest manufacturers. This all-star team of suppliers ensures that every aspect of the B-21 is built to perfection, paving the way for the next era of strategic bombers. This team of suppliers includes several top-notch companies: American aerospace manufacturer Pratt & Whitney, Europe's largest defense contractor BAE Systems, the world's leading aerostructures manufacturer Spirit Aerosystems, Northrop Grumman's Orbital ATK, Rockwell Collins, GKN Aerospace, and Janicki Industries. These 7 companies, led by Northrop Grumman, aim to create a groundbreaking bomber. This bomber will not only be able to gather intelligence, but also manage battles and intercept enemy aircraft. What makes this bomber truly special is its advanced technology. It will have intelligent sensors that can detect threats from far away, stealth features that make it invisible to radar, powerful weapons capable of massive destruction, and a flexible design that allows for quick upgrades with new technology. According to Air Force Secretary Frank Kendall III, the bomber might even have a drone flying alongside it to handle smaller missions. This unique feature is usually seen only in next-generation fighters like the Ongat FCOS and Tempest. So far, the B-21 is the only American bomber with this capability. Due to its advanced features, the U.S. Air Force is eager to acquire as many B-21s as possible. They plan to buy at least 100, and possibly up to 200, which is almost 10 times the size of their current B-2 fleet. However, with a price tag similar to the B-2, acquiring 200 B-21 SE would cost an astounding $400 billion. Achieving this goal will require significant cost efficiency. The exact cost of these aircraft remains unknown, as the Air Force keeps these details secret to prevent revealing too much about the classified project to potential adversaries who are working on their competing aircraft. The Pak-2 is set to become a new long-range bomber for the Russian Air Force, designed to evade detection while carrying a diverse arsenal for combat. It will be a subsonic aircraft featuring a large capacity for various weapons: cruise missiles, hypersonic missiles, precise conventional bombs, and even nuclear bombs. Its design, reminiscent of the American B-21, emphasizes a sleek flying wing structure. Similar to its U.S. counterpart, the Pak-2 integrates cutting-edge electronic warfare and stealth technologies. These advancements enable it to minimize radar visibility and reduce the heat signature from its engines. However, Russia traditionally values firepower over stealth, contrasting with American approaches. Therefore, the Pak-2 may not match the stealth capabilities of the B-21, similar to how the Russian Su-57 is less stealthy than the American F-22 and F-35. The Su-57 is regarded as the least stealthy among fifth-generation fighters. Russia is likely to improve its military capabilities as usual, especially with the new Pak-2 bomber, which could carry up to 80,000 pounds of weapons. This capacity might be more than that of the B-21 bomber. Similar to how the Su-57 fighter jet is better than both the F-22 and F-35, the Pak-2 is expected to start operating by the late 2020s. This creates an interesting competition among the US, Russia, and China, where China's H-20 is also entering as a fifth-generation bomber. China's H-20 bomber is entering this top category, resembling the B-21 and PAC-DA with its flying wing design. Although details are limited, confirmed images show its advanced features such as a weapons bay, airborne radar, adjustable tail wings, and stealthy air intakes. The H-20 is China's first native stealth bomber, expected to fly at speeds below the sound barrier and armed with various types of missiles, including hypersonic and nuclear ones. While the H-20 seems furthest from being deployed among its peers, this delay may allow it to make a strong debut if it meets expectations. The B-21 Raider, benefiting from decades of development since its predecessor, the B-2, has set a high standard in bomber technology worldwide. Its advanced engines, electronics, armament, and cost efficiency make it a powerful asset for the U.S. and its allies. Recently, during the Spirit Vigilance 22 training exercise, history was made with a significant event, an impressive lineup of 8 B-2 stealth bombers in what is known as an elephant walk. This display holds particular importance because, until the new B-21 bomber is fully operational, the B-2 remains the United States' most powerful and strategically crucial aircraft. Not only is it powerful, but it's also incredibly expensive, with each bomber costing around $2 billion. Currently, the Air Force operates a fleet of only 20 B-2s, making the participation of 8 of them in this elephant walk a substantial 40% of their total fleet. Captain Richard Collier, the Director of Operations for the Spirit Vigilance exercise, emphasized that this display was more than just a show. It was a preparation. It aimed to showcase the Air Force's capabilities to potential adversaries, including near-peer rivals like North Korea and China. Not long after this event, North Korea conducted a test of its Hwasong-17 intercontinental ballistic missile, demonstrating its capability to strike deep into the United States. Similarly, China also recently organized its own bomber elephant walk, featuring 8 of its advanced H-6K bombers, akin to the U.S. display. China is also developing its next-generation bomber, the H-20, which draws inspiration from the B-2's design, much like how the B-21 Raider is influenced by its predecessor. Scheduled to roll out in 2022 and take its first flight in 2023, the B-21 Raider represents the future of U.S. air power. It is designed to be an advanced stealth bomber capable of carrying heavy payloads over long distances, aligning with Theodore Roosevelt's "speak softly and carry a big stick" foreign policy. In essence, the B-21 Raider is poised to become the most formidable weapon in America's arsenal. The technology of the B-21 bomber is very advanced, designed to improve its abilities across different missions. It uses cutting-edge technology for gathering important information in reconnaissance and surveillance. In managing battles, it plays a crucial role by connecting allies in various operational areas. As a 6th-generation global precision attack platform, it excels in being hard to see, carrying lots of weapons, and delivering America's most powerful weapons accurately to important targets. The B-21's invisibility is assured through modern features developed over many years. Its stealth design includes angled edges, rough skin panels, and hiding engines under a special skin. The plane's overall shape also adds to its ability to stay hidden. Like its older model, the B-2, the B-21 will likely be covered in special paint that stops reflections, making it less visible during the day. At very high altitudes, over 50,000 feet, the bomber fits in with the sky, helped by its bottom, made to hide it. To keep this stealth advantage in different kinds of light, the B-21 has a sensor that faces up. This sensor tells the pilot when to change height, keeping the plane hidden from even the best air defense systems. All this modern technology makes the B-21 a powerful tool, able to do important missions without being seen. To improve the B-21 bomber's effectiveness compared to earlier models, it will have advanced electronic systems that are integrated into one unit. These systems include a radar with multiple functions, a fully digital navigation system combined with radar that follows the terrain and GPS, a navigation system that uses stars and planets for precise navigation, an advanced radar for accurate scanning, a system for electronic warfare, a system that captures images from different viewpoints, and a system for aiming using light, among others. For communicating during battles, The B-21 will use Link 16 and a satellite link that uses high frequencies. It also has a system for managing defense that warns the flight crew about possible dangers and allows for changing mission plans in real time. This means the airplane can quickly adjust to new information and plan the safest routes, which is very important for the safety of the whole group. Similar to the F-35 Lightning II fighter, the B-21 will be the main center in a system that combines different senses so it can smartly manage fights. For weapons, the B-21 can carry more than 30,000 pounds of weapons, like nuclear ones, such as the B-61 bomb, and long-range missiles that fly without a pilot. Apart from these strong weapons, it is also ready for many different kinds of weapons, so it can be used in all sorts of fights all over the world. The B-21 bomber is built to carry Lockheed Martin's strong anti-ship missile, along with other advanced weapons like Boeing's GPS-guided bombs. These features make the B-21 a top pick for secret operations, especially in tough places like the South China Sea, where it can effectively attack ships from far away. To stay ahead in a quickly changing battlefield, the B-21 was designed with a flexible structure, making it easy to add new updates quickly. With its many abilities, the B-21 Raider costs about $630 million each, which fits with what the Air Force planned in the early 2010s for a bomber that could compete well against its rivals. When it comes to competition, the B-21 goes up against the Russian PAK-DA and the Chinese H-20, which are both designed similarly as long-range strategic bombers with wing shapes that help them fly. These planes are expected to go at speeds slower than sound and carry various weapons like cruise and very fast missiles, plus advanced electronic warfare and invisible technologies. However, while the B-21 focuses on being invisible, the PAK-DA might be more about other abilities like big guns, which could mean it's less invisible. This mix of advanced bomber tech from the United States, Russia, and China sets the stage for a very interesting future in air warfare, where each nation's choices will decide how these strong planes are developed and used. The new B-21 bomber, called the B-21 Raider, is set to become a cornerstone of America's air defense plan. With a potential arsenal of up to 80,000 weapons, it far exceeds the confirmed payload of the B-21 at more than 30,000 pounds, and the undisclosed capability of China's H-20 bomber. The United States has a strong advantage in stealth technology and bomber development, likely putting it ahead in schedules for these advanced aircraft. Currently, the B-21 is the only one of those three bombers that has been publicly shown and is soon to be operational, following its predecessor, the B-2 Spirit. After 13 years of development, the B-21 is expected to be fully ready by 2027, marking an important moment for America's strategic Air Force. It will work alongside upgraded B-52 bombers and is planned to eventually replace the supersonic B-1 Lancer and the B-2 Spirit, which have been the main bomber fleets for over 3 decades. The Air Force is positive about the B-21's capabilities, considering buying up to 145 units, a much larger fleet than the B-2S ever had. This new bomber, the B-21 Raider, represents the future of American air power, with advanced technology and capabilities aimed at keeping peace and security. The B-21 Raider isn't ready for action yet. Let's imagine a future conflict where the big bombers of 2 nations face off in the biggest war since World War II. The result may depend on which bomber is better. One competitor is the Tupolev Tu-160, also called the Blackjack. This plane is an amazing creation from a country that hasn't made impressive planes in a long time. The Tu-160, nicknamed White Swan in Russian, is the largest and heaviest military plane ever, capable of going faster than Mach 2. It's second only to the American XB-70 in size and speed. While there are faster planes, like the XB-70 prototype, the Blackjack is made for high-speed, deep missions into enemy territory to drop bombs, whether they're regular or nuclear. Today, it's the biggest and fastest bomber globally, using technology like adjustable sweep wings from the famous American F-14 Tomcat. Starting in 1967, the Tu-160 came from the Soviet Union's understanding that traditional bombers were no longer safe in the age of advanced jets. Instead of using stealth like the Americans, the Soviets chose sheer speed and payload, a plan that worked very well. In 1972, the Soviets started a contest to create a bomber with wings that could change shape and fly at speeds up to Mach 2.3. This design would have made it hard for existing missiles on the ground to catch them, as they couldn't move fast enough or turn quickly to hit the bomber effectively. The wings that could change shape were very important for this bomber to work well at both slower and faster speeds than sound. These wings allowed the plane to change its form, making it work best at high speeds. The Soviet bomber, called the Blackjack, was made to be like the American B-1. However, the B-1 plan was stopped later because the United States changed focus to making bombers that were hard to see and making the B-2 bomber. Being hard to see was seen as more effective than being fast at keeping bombers safe. At the start, just a few models of the B-1 were made before the project was put on hold. Later, it started again in 1981 because of problems with the B-2 program. The first version of the B-1 was shown to the public in November 1981 when someone on a plane took a picture of it at Zhukovsky Airfield. After lots of testing and making changes, the Blackjack was allowed to be made in big numbers in 1984. Even though it did well, only 36 Blackjack bombers were made in the end, with 27 used for flying and 9 for testing. This was much fewer compared to the American B-1, where 101 were made. The Soviet Union had money problems, made worse by the war in Afghanistan, and this made it hard to make many Blackjacks. However, the new Russian Federation faced a problem with the Blackjack bomber. Originally designed for long-range, high-speed nuclear missions during the Cold War, its role needed to change towards conventional warfare in the post-Cold War era. By 2002, all 15 remaining Tu-160S underwent upgrades aimed at adjusting them for modern combat needs. These upgrades had both successes and failures. The changes made it possible for the aircraft to carry various non-nuclear weapons, such as the KH-555 air-launched cruise missile. Additionally, improvements were made in communication, navigation, and engine life extension. However, plans to update the aircraft's electronic system were canceled due to high costs. It wasn't until 2014 that the first modern radar and electronic suites were finally installed. Efforts to update the Blackjack were further slowed by corruption within the defense ministry and challenges within the Russian industry and defense budget. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, many skilled experts and the companies they worked for became part of newly independent nations. This forced the Russian Federation to rebuild these capabilities domestically with varying degrees of success. Russian firms struggled, as they historically have, to develop advanced engines. By August 2022, only 5 out of the 17-strong Blackjack fleet had received new engines. This slow progress highlighted ongoing challenges in revitalizing Russia's defense capabilities amid a complicated geopolitical landscape. After the Soviet Union fell apart, Ukraine got 19 big bombers, more than half of all Soviet planes. Russia bought 11 of them after long talks, and the other 8 were destroyed under the Nunn-Lugar Agreement. 20 years later, Ukraine regrets this choice. Even though the bombers hadn't been made for a long time, Russia decided in 2008 to start making them again, aiming for a fleet of 50 Blackjack planes. However, Russian industry had big problems after the Soviet Union broke up and during Vladimir Putin's time as president, including losing skilled workers in areas like using electron beams and making titanium parts. Russia finally put together a new Tu-160 bomber by November 2017, although it wasn't finished. They plan to start making a lot of them in 2019 and send new planes by 2023. In 2018, the first new Blackjack bomber in more than 30 years did its first test flight successfully. But because of worldwide punishment against Russia, the delivery of 2 new planes by 2022 was blocked. In January 2022, one Tu-160 did a test flight from a Kazan aviation plant airfield. This making of the Blackjack again looks like when the US decided in the 1980s to start making the B-1 bomber again. But it's just for now because of delays in Russia's stealth bomber plan, called Pact-A. Now, both plans could have unsure futures because of these punishments. Even though people think there are 17 Tu-160 bombers, only 11 are said to be working now. Every bomber has 4 strong NK-32 engines, the best engines ever used on a warplane. This lets the 110-ton bomber go as fast as Mach 2.05. a thing the U.S. B-1 Lancer gave up to be harder to see on radar. The Tu-160 can bring up to 44,000 pounds of bombs or nuclear missiles inside, and it can also put long-range missiles outside. This gives it big power in battle and lets it go up to 6,500 miles without stopping, which can be made longer with the air refueling if needed. In the blue corner stands America's latest marvel, the B-21 Raider, a bomber that remains largely a mystery since it's not yet in active service. Even details about its predecessor, the B-2 bomber, have been scarce despite its 4-decade history. This secrecy suggests that uncovering the true potential of the B-21 Raider may take time, but we can still make educated guesses. Similar to the Blackjack, the B-21 Raider is a strategic bomber designed under the U.S. Air Force's Long-Range Strike Bomber program. Its unveiling in December 2022 was so secretive that only its front was revealed, and photographers were kept hundreds of feet away. Planning for the B-21 began in 2011 in response to growing threats from China and Russia. The aircraft was developed to counter sophisticated defenses and deliver precise strikes effectively. Unlike its older counterpart, the B-2, the B-21 is versatile and designed for both conventional and nuclear missions. This shift also signaled the potential retirement of the aging B-52 fleet, showing the Air Force's commitment to modernization. In 2014, the Air Force initiated research and invited industry proposals for a new bomber. The B-21 Raider specifications, including its size, stealth capabilities, engines, weapons, and sensors, remain classified. In October 2016, the Government Accountability Office mentioned costs as the reason for choosing the Northrop Grumman design over Boeing and Lockheed's proposals. The decision was based on financial factors rather than traditional considerations for weapon programs. Managing the entire B-21 program, the Air Force Rapid Capabilities Office aims to swiftly address emerging battlefield threats. This office is specifically structured to bypass bureaucracy and adopt ready-made solutions whenever feasible. Assigning the Rapid Capabilities Office to oversee the B-21 program underscores the urgent need perceived by the U.S. for the aircraft to become operational quickly. Northrop Grumman describes the B-21 as the world's first sixth-generation aircraft. Beyond its role as a bomber, the B-21 is designed to function as an intelligence collector, battle manager, and interceptor, showcasing its versatility. With advanced sensor and targeting capabilities, the B-21 can penetrate heavily defended airspace and guide other aircraft's weapons to their targets covertly. Initially planning for 100 B-21s, the Air Force envisions expanding the fleet to between 175 and 200 aircraft. Leveraging engine similarities with the F-35 could significantly reduce costs, potentially making the B-21 the first affordable stealth bomber. Despite historical budget constraints, by February 2022, 6 B-21 Raiders were in production, with the first public flight scheduled for 2023. The program's secrecy is so tight that the Air Force refuses to disclose the total contract costs, citing security concerns. Each B-21 is estimated to cost about $700 million, considerably less than the B-2 bomber. Australia has shown interest in acquiring B-21 to bolster its defense against potential threats in the South Pacific, where its current fleet of F-35s may be insufficient. The U.S. has expressed openness to Australia participating in the B-21 program. Comparing the B-21 to Russia's Tu-160, the latter holds advantages in speed and payload size, but the B-21's stealth and precision strike capabilities make it a formidable opponent. Designed for smart warfare, the B-21 targets critical military nodes to disrupt enemy operations effectively. In terms of longevity and environmental impact, the B-21 offers advantages over the Tu-160, as it does not emit harmful substances during takeoff. Despite the Tu-160's combat experience, the B-21's advanced technology and sustained funding are expected to ensure its operational superiority in the long term. A U.S. ally just built a fighter that challenges American air dominance. For years, the Lockheed Martin F-35 Lightning II defined modern air power, so advanced that nations were expected to accept its terms or go without. Then South Korea made a different move. They built their own jet. The KAI KF-21 Boramae isn't just another aircraft. It's a signal of changing dominance. What does it really mean for the F-35's dominance? And why are analysts paying close attention now? Join us as we unveil the capabilities of the KF-21 that just rendered the F-35 obsolete. On paper, the F-35 looks unstoppable. It is described as the most advanced electronic warfare platform ever flown, with sensor fusion that borders on artificial intelligence and a supply chain that spans 45 states and hundreds of contractors. But modern warfare doesn't reward what looks unstoppable on paper. The uncomfortable truth is that the F-35, for all its capability, was designed for a strategic environment that no longer exists. Its development began in the 1990s when the United States assumed it would always have uncontested air superiority in a virtually unlimited budget. The F-35 was built to be the ultimate expression of American air power. A single platform that could replace the A-10, the F-16, the AV-8 Bravo, and the F-18. It was supposed to do everything. In practice, doing everything has come at a cost that is measured not just in dollars, but in availability, sustainment, and strategic flexibility. The F-35 costs approximately $35,000 per flight hour to operate. Its maintenance footprint requires a global network of specialized depots, and its most classified systems, the ones that make it truly dominant, are subject to export restrictions that leave allied nations dependent on American approval for everything from software updates to weapons integration. And that gap is exactly where the problem begins. South Korea began searching for its own indigenous fighter in earnest under a program called KFX, with a single overriding requirement: develop an advanced multi-role fighter that could operate independently of foreign export controls, integrate Korean-made weapons, and be sustained by Korean industry. A fighter that would not ask permission to fly, to fight, or to evolve. That requirement quietly ruled out every foreign fighter on the market. So Korea Aerospace Industries didn't try to buy the F-35. They built something better suited to the future of aerial combat. That is exactly the problem KAI set out to solve with the KF-21 Boramae. Not with a copy of the F-35 or a cheaper imitation, but with a fundamentally different design philosophy. Where the F-35 prioritized absolute stealth at the expense of cost, speed, and maintainability, the KF-21 prioritizes capability in a contested environment where stealth is just one variable among many. This concept was first demonstrated by the KF-21's design choices. Unlike the F-35, which carries its weapons internally to preserve a flawless stealth profile, the KF-21 features 6 internal weapon stations that can carry air-to-air missiles and air-to-ground munitions, but also 6 external hardpoints that can be configured for missions where stealth is less critical than payload. The result is an aircraft that can fight as a stealth fighter when it needs to, and as a conventional bomb truck when it doesn't. An aircraft that is not locked into a single configuration for every mission, but can adapt its signature, its payload, and its role to the specific threat environment. But that flexibility came at a cost. When the KFX program was announced in the early 2010s, the skepticism was overwhelming. South Korea had never built a supersonic fighter. The T-50 Golden Eagle, a supersonic trainer developed with Lockheed Martin, was the extent of its indigenous combat aircraft experience. Building a twin-engine, stealth-influenced multi-role fighter from scratch was considered impossible by most defense analysts. Indonesia joined the program as a partner in 2010, contributing funding in exchange for technology transfer and production rights. Then Indonesia defaulted on its payments. The program continued without them. The South Korean government committed over 8 trillion won, approximately $6 billion, to see the project through. The first prototype, KF-21 No. 1, rolled out of the Sacheon facility in April 2021. The rollout was notable not just for what the aircraft was, but for what it revealed about South Korea's ambitions. The Boramae, which translates to Falcon or Hawk, was presented not as a regional fighter, but as a global competitor. Sleek, powerful, and undeniably modeled on the same stealth-shaping principles that define the F-22 and F-35. By July 2022, The KF-21 had made its first flight. It took off from the Sacheon airfield, climbed through the clouds, and returned 40 minutes later without incident. The flight test program has since accumulated over 2,000 sorties, pushing the aircraft to supersonic speeds, testing its radar, and validating its flight envelope. And then come the numbers. The performance figures the KF-21 has produced during its test phase are striking enough to redefine the aircraft's market position entirely. A top speed of Mach 1.81, faster than the F-35's Mach 1.6, a combat radius of approximately 750 miles, a service ceiling of over 50,000 feet, and a maximum takeoff weight of 25,600 kilograms, making it larger and more capable than the F-16, while remaining significantly cheaper to operate than the F-35. The radar is a domestically developed active electronically scanned array, an AESA radar, with over 1,000 transmit-receive modules. Developed by Hanwha Systems, it represents a capability that only a handful of nations have ever achieved independently. The electronic warfare suite is indigenous. The infrared search and track system is indigenous. The weapons, including the long-range air-to-air missile and the GPS-guided glide bomb, are Korean. The KF-21 is not an assembled collection of foreign components. It is a fundamentally Korean aircraft, built to Korean requirements and subject only to Korean export controls. Consider what this means for the export market. The F-35 is available only to a select group of allies who agree to strict conditions: no independent maintenance, no access to the most sensitive source code, and no ability to integrate third-party weapons without American approval. The KF-21 has none of those restrictions. Poland has already signed a letter of intent to acquire the KF-21. The United Arab Emirates is in discussions. Indonesia remains a partner despite its payment issues. And the list of nations that want advanced fighter capability but cannot afford the F-35's acquisition or sustainment costs is long: the Philippines, Malaysia, Thailand, Colombia, and more. The price is the most disruptive element of the KF-21 equation. Estimates place the per-unit cost between $50 and $65 million. That is approximately half the cost of an F-35 Alpha, the conventional takeoff variant, and roughly one-third the cost of an F-35 Bravo or Charlie. For nations building their air forces on a budget, that difference is the difference between fielding a squadron of stealth-capable fighters and fielding nothing at all. The KF-21's design includes an option for fully internal weapons bays in future production blocks. The current aircraft uses semi-recessed stations for its primary air-to-air weapons, preserving a reduced radar cross-section without the complexity and weight of fully enclosed bays. But the airframe is structurally designed to accommodate internal bays when the technology matures. The Baramai is not a finished product. It is a platform designed to evolve, and that evolution is already planned. Block 1 of the KF-21, currently in flight test, is an air-to-air focused platform with limited air-to-ground capability. It is designed to enter service with the Republic of Korea Air Force in 2026, replacing aging F-4 Phantoms and F-5 Tigers that have been in service since the Vietnam War. Block 2, scheduled for development beginning in the late 2020s, will introduce full air-to-ground capability in the fully internal weapons base. Block 2 will transform the KF-21 from an air superiority fighter into a true multi-role platform, capable of deep strike, close air support, and anti-ship missions. Block 3, currently in the concept phase, will introduce unmanned teaming capabilities, the ability to control loyal wingman-style drones that fly ahead of the manned fighter, absorbing risk, providing additional sensors, and carrying extra weapons. This is the same operational concept that the United States Air Force is developing for the Next Generation Air Dominance program, but the KF-21 is on track to achieve it at a fraction of the cost. None of this means the KF-21 is without risk. The aircraft is not yet in service. Its radar and electronic warfare systems, while advanced, have not been tested in combat. The supply chain for a domestically produced fighter is unproven at scale, and the aircraft's semi-recessed weapons configuration means its radar cross-section, while reduced, is not truly stealthy in the way the F-22 or F-35 are. But unlike the F-35, which required expensive hardware revisions whenever the threat environment changed, the KF-21 uses an open architecture that allows sensors, weapons, and software to be updated without redesigning the platform itself. Where the F-35 matured painfully in hardware, the KF-21 is designed to mature in code. The KF-21 bomber does not operate alone. It is the centerpiece of a broader transformation in South Korean defense that also includes indigenous airborne early warning aircraft, Korean-made attack helicopters, and a domestic space launch capability. A future Korean air combat wing could see KF-21s carrying the strike element, FA-50 light fighters providing local air defense, and Korean-built drones extending the engagement range without risking a single additional pilot. All of this matters because the United States and its traditional allies have spent decades assuming that only American industry could produce fifth-generation fighters. They assume that the barriers to entry, the stealth expertise, sensor integration, and propulsion technology were simply too high for any other nation to clear. The KF-21 breaks every one of those assumptions. The first production aircraft are scheduled to enter service with the Republic of Korea Air Force by the end of 2026. The flight test program has already cleared supersonic flight, weapons separation, and radar performance validation. The production facility in Sicheon is tooled and ready, and KAI has already committed to expanding its export marketing efforts across Asia, the Middle East, and South America. The impossible fighter, the aircraft that was supposed to be too complex, too expensive, and too advanced for a nation with no prior fighter development experience, is becoming the standard. The fundamental insight that an aircraft combining advanced sensors, reduced observability, and affordable sustainment creates strategic independence that no amount of pure stealth can match will remain valid regardless of how the technology evolves. The KF-21 is the first full expression of that idea at operational scale, but it won't be the last. Because this isn't just a cheaper F-35, it's the moment the monopoly on fifth-generation fighter technology stops being absolute. For 2 decades, the F-35 has defined what it means to be a fifth-generation fighter: expensive, exclusive, and dependent. South Korea just built the alternative. The US has created a bomber with capabilities that the world would never recover from: the B-21 Raider. This strategic bomber is not just a game-changer. It has single-handedly redefined military strategies, making other nations alarmed. With its stealthy features, its unrefined lethality, and next-generation designs, this bomber made other technologically advanced nations like China and Russia terrified. Why is the world afraid of this strategic bomber? What makes this bomber different and better than China's giant H-20 bomber? Join us as we unravel the mysteries behind the American first B-21 Raider that the whole world is afraid of. With a huge investment of $630 million, 7 years of undivided devotion towards creating a masterpiece, and over 25 years of dominance, the United States strategic bomber has sent chills to the heart of its adversaries. The B-20 Raider is one of a kind, and that's not all. It is designed with features that makes it unrivaled. Not even China's new Xi'an H-20 bomber can be compared to this technological marvel. Or can it? Let's get into their specifications. The B-21 Raider is a new bomber being made for the United States Air Force. This bomber was part of a program called Long Range Strike Bomber, with the aim to develop a strategic bomber with next-generation features that would replace the old bombers. It is designed with the ability to fly long distances for a long period of time and stay hidden from enemies. Stealthy features. It can also carry different types of weapons, including powerful ones like nuclear bombs or just regular bombs. The Raider marks a significant advancement in aircraft technology, being the world's first sixth-generation bomber, which is similar to the sixth-generation NGAD fighter, which is currently under development. The program began in 2011, and it started a fierce competition among aerospace giants Boeing, Lockheed Martin team, and Northrop Grumman. After 4 years of intense competition, Northrop Grumman, leveraging its extensive experience with stealth bombers from the B-2, secured the contract to develop the B-21. Their proposal stood out for offering the most cost-effective solution while meeting the Air Force's requirements. Cost considerations also played a very important role in the development of this bomber, which is a lesson learned from the exorbitant expenses associated with the B-2 program. The cost per unit aircraft of the B-2 was so high that it rivaled the GDPs of some nations. Therefore, ensuring cost efficiency while delivering the desired capabilities was a priority in the development of the B-21 Raider. To be more economical in the process of building it, Northrop Grumman had to eventually team up with about 400 suppliers across 40 states, all operating continuously for the past 7 years, even during the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic. These suppliers are 7 of the world's most reputable companies as Tier 1 suppliers of the program, like jet engine manufacturer Pratt & Whitney, the largest defense contractor in Europe, BAE Systems, the world's largest first-tier aerostructures manufacturer, Spirit Aerosystems, Northrop Grumman's Orbital ATK, Rockwell Collins, GKN Aerospace, and Janicki Industries. All these companies, led by Northrop Grumman, worked together to create the B-21, a bomber that costs $630 million and that boasts next-generation capabilities. Compared to the B-2, the B-21 Raider is about 68% cheaper while being much more capable than the previously developed and even more expensive strategic bomber. Even though it benefits from over 2 decades of technological advancements, it's still an impressive military aircraft, deadly in its capabilities. The Air Force plans to get at least 100 B-21s, but they might go up to A-145 if the bomber passes its test without any hitch, almost literally. When it's put into service, the bomber will work alongside other strategic bombers like the B-52 Stratofortress, the B-1 Lancer, and the B-2 Spirit initially. Eventually, it will replace both of them, marking the end of their era or perhaps its continuation in a different form. In any case, the U.S. will have a bomber that can demonstrate the strength of its military across the globe, with the operational range of a ship and the firepower of modern nuclear weapons. The development of this strategic bomber with unrivaled capabilities has deeply troubled China, the United States being their #1 rival. Their next move in the bomber race might involve their new Xi'an H-20 bomber, and they're probably aware of the challenge that it would take in developing one. Interestingly, the news of the development of China's strategic bomber became public around the same time as those of the United States. However, to understand how capable the H-20 is, and if it can in any way be compared to the B-21, these bombers would need to compete directly by comparing the 3 most important factors in any bomber: stealth, avionics, and armament. Similar to its predecessor, especially the B-51, the B-21 will most definitely be designed from the start to be a stealthy plane, using what they have learned from the process of making the hard-to spot. It will have special features like edges that line up, panels on the skin that look like jagged teeth, and the engines will be hidden with special matte skin. Its shape will be like a big wing, which helps make it hard to detect by radar. Just like the B-2, it will probably be painted with a special paint that makes it hard to see during the day and avoid being spotted. Its underside will be painted dark because it flies really high, over 50,000 feet up. When it's that high, a dark color makes it blend in with the sky better. The B-21 will also have a sensor that looks up at the sky and tells the pilot to go higher or lower to match the brightness of the sky, so it's always hard to spot. To keep these stealth features working well, the B-21 might need to be kept in special hangars that have air conditioning, and that would definitely cost a lot of money to build and maintain. To make it better than previously developed bombers, it will have lots of new and high-tech avionics systems all working together. These include things like a special radar that can do many things, a digital navigation system that uses radar and GPS to help the plane fly, and a system that uses space objects to help figure out where it is. It also has a radar that can scan in different directions, a system to jam enemy communications, and cameras and sensors to spot targets. Communication is very important, and the B-21 prioritized this. This new strategic bomber can talk to other planes and ground forces using special links, and it has a system that warns the crew about dangers and can change its route to avoid them. The importance of this feature cannot be overstated because not only does it help to keep the pilot aware of his environment and potential threats, it makes it possible to avert danger, keeping both the pilot and the aircraft safe from any sort of damage. Also, for the military, this system makes the bomber really important because it's like a central hub for getting and sharing information, making it better at managing battles. To make sure everything is working okay, there's a system that checks all the avionics all the time. Now to its carrying capacity, like the aircraft before it, the B-21 should be able to carry more than 30,000 pounds of weapons, including nuclear bombs like the B-61 and long-range missiles. It can also carry regular bombs and other modern weapons, like missiles that can hit ships from far away. This makes it perfect for fighting ships in places like the South China Sea. Unfortunately for aviation lovers and people rooting for the Raider, several information concerning this bomber has been kept secret because it's a special program and also for security purposes. Details regarding how far it goes, what kind of weapons it carries, or how big it is compared to its predecessor have been undisclosed. However, some photos of the aircraft were released in December 2022 during a ceremony at Northrop Grumman's factory in California, and observers with keen eyes were able to spot a thing or two, but these are just speculations. The Raider will be maintained at Tinker Air Force Base in Oklahoma, while testing and evaluation will happen at Edwards Air Force Base in California. It will fly from bases like Dyess Air Force Base in Texas, Ellsworth Air Force Base in South Dakota, and Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri. Ellsworth was chosen to be the first base for the B-21. There was talk about using a drone alongside the B-21, but that idea was dropped because the idea was to save money, and that thought would not help with the cause. The Air Force is also planning to get a new fighter jet to protect the new bomber during missions into enemy territory. The Air Force wants to update its bomber fleet and most of its nuclear weapons for operations in the Indo-Pacific, especially concerning China. Now let's talk a bit about the B-21's predecessors, the Stratofortress. The B-52 was a lot like the B-47 Stratojet bomber that came before it in terms of technology. They both had similar designs, like wings that angled back and engines in pods. The inside of the plane also had seats that could eject if there was an emergency. In the B-52D, the pilots and the person in charge of electronic countermeasures would eject upwards, while the crew below would eject downwards. In earlier B-52 models, the person who operated the tail gun had to get rid of the gun before ejecting. In the first B-52s, the tail gunner sat at the back of the plane and used both visual and radar systems to aim the gun. In later models, the tail gunner moved to the front of the plane, and they only used radar to aim, similar to how the B-58 Hustler's tail gun worked. Because of how this bomber is meant to fly, it doesn't need to do big turns or recover from spins. It has a small rudder that can only turn the plane a little bit to the side. They originally planned to use a different kind of tail that moves all the way, but they changed their minds because they weren't sure if it would work well. Since the plane has 8 engines, if one of them stops working, it won't cause too much of a problem because the rudder can fix it. To help the aircraft land and take off when it's windy, the main landing gear can move to the side a bit. Before the plane takes off, the crew sets this up based on how windy it is. The part of the plane that controls going up and down is also small, like the rudder, so it can't move the plane a lot. To help with small changes, there's a part at the back called a stabilizer that moves up and down a little when taking off and landing, because the flaps on the wings make big changes in how the plane tilts. The B-21 would be built in such a way that it would experience no limitations in the way it flies. Also, the B-52s before the G models had small things on the wings called ailerons that helped it turn. Because the wings are thin, they can't use regular ailerons, so they used something called spoilerons instead. These were better for controlling the plane, especially when it was being refueled in the air. But the later models got rid of the ailerons and just used more spoilerons. Because of this change, those models could wobble more when flying. This bomber got upgraded in the 1970s, and these upgrades enabled it to carry up to 20 nuclear missiles and air-launched cruise missiles. They chose the Boeing AGM-86B missile for it, fitting 194 planes to carry them, and some planes had a special launcher for them. They also made some changes to the planes so satellites could recognize them easily. If the B-52 is this heavily armed and can carry that much nuclear weapons, just imagine how formidable the new B-21 Raider would be. Later, they made more changes to the Stratofortress that were not designed to carry missiles to make them better at dropping regular bombs. They also added new systems to manage bombs and made pylons under the wings to carry bigger bombs. Some planes were even fitted to carry anti-ship missiles and other special bombs. In 2016, Boeing started updating them so that they can carry smart bombs inside the plane instead of just on the wings. Even though the B-1 bomber can carry more weight than the B-52, it rarely carries its full load. Its biggest load is the AGM-86B missiles, while the B-1 can carry more types of bombs, but fewer of each. Despite the plan to replace the Stratofortress in the future, the bomber will get new hypersonic missiles and nuclear-armed cruise missiles, making it more formidable and somewhat irreplaceable. This means that if the B-21 would definitely be a beast, a force to reckon with. In terms of propelling system, the B-52 bomber has 8 engines arranged in pods and held up by 4 pylons under the wings. These pylons also help the wings fly better. The first prototypes used experimental Pratt & Whitney YJ57P3 turbojet engines. The early B-52LA models had Pratt & Whitney J57P1W turbojets with 10,000 pounds of thrust, which could go up to 11,000 pounds with water injection. Water for this was stored in a tank in the back of the plane. One thing is certain, the engine for the B-21 Raider would definitely be from the jet engine manufacturer Pratt & Whitney. Let's check out the Raider's competitor, China's Xi'an H-20. The H-20, also known as Hong-2, is a planned stealth bomber that is being designed for China's Air Force. It is a big project for the Chinese military because this would be their first bomber that is designed specifically for strategic purposes. This technologically advanced nation announced plans for this bomber in September 2016 by a Chinese Air Force general, Ma Xiaoshen, who disclosed to the public that China was working on a new long-range bomber. To help the public keep tabs of the development process, a military spokesperson confirmed that the development was going well. According to the U.S. Department of Defense, the H-20 will likely be a flying wing with a range of at least 8,500 kilometers and can carry at least 10 tons of weapons. This could pose a threat to United States military bases in Guam and Hawaii. The plane is expected to carry either conventional or nuclear weapons. Over the years, various models and computer images of the H-2 have appeared online, showing features like serrated air intakes and special tail surfaces. Chinese state media hinted that this bomber might have its first flight soon in July 2022. The H-20, a Chinese bomber, is expected to carry at least 22,000 pounds of weapons, which could threaten U.S. targets as far as Hawaii. We don't know much about the H-20 yet because it's a secret, but based on what we know, the B-21 has an advantage. In March 2024, a vice commander of the Chinese Air Force mentioned that the H-20 would be revealed very soon during a National Congress session. While many design and performance details are unknown, China's subsonic bomber will have an estimated operational range between 5,000 and 6,000 nautical miles, or 8,500 to 10,000 kilometers. The aircraft is aimed at bombing missions in the second island chain and in the Western Pacific. With in-flight refueling capability, its range could be increased well beyond the Pacific region. The aircraft will also be capable of carrying conventional armaments and nuclear munitions in its internal and external bays. While this information is not enough to compare these two bombers, let's have a look at one of China's finest bombers, the Xi'an H-6. The Xi'an H-6 is a bomber aircraft used by the Chinese Air Force. It's based on a Russian plane called the Tupolev Tu-16. China started getting these planes in 1958, and they made a deal with Russia to build them in China. By November 2020, China had as many as 231 of these planes, and they're still making more. The newest version of the H-6 is called the H-6N. It's been changed a lot and can now refuel in the air and carry missiles that can be launched from the air. According to the United States Department of Defense, this will let the Chinese Air Force attack faraway targets with really accurate weapons. The Tupolev Tu-16, first used by the Soviet Union on April 1952, was among their earliest successful jet bombers. Over 1,500 were made by 1962. In the early 1956, the Soviet Union agreed to let China build Tu-16s too. They sent China 2 planes, parts, and materials to get started. Soviet experts helped China start making the planes in 1959. China chose the Harbin and Xi'an factories to build the Tu-16s. They had to make big changes and expansions to the factories. The first Chinese-made Tu-16 was finished in just 67 days in 1959. Then in 1961, they decided to focus on making them in Xi'an instead. The first fully Chinese-made H-6 bomber flew in 1968. But there were problems along the way. The Cultural Revolution caused delays, and they even lost some important plans during that time. The H-6 was used to test 9 nuclear bombs at the Lopner site. But as missile technology got better, the importance of using planes to drop nuclear bombs went down. By 1972, it was mainly used for regular bombing, not nuclear missions. If the H-20 is anything or even better than the H-6, the United States might just have something to worry about.
Thus, in a bold strategic move, the United States has bolstered its arsenal by introducing the revolutionary B-21 Raider bomber, poised to redefine the narrative of aerial warfare. Anticipated to surpass its predecessors, this cutting-edge aircraft stands ready to make an immediate impact, particularly in the volatile Middle East, should escalating tensions demand swift and decisive measures. As air defense systems evolve and countermeasures for bombers become increasingly sophisticated, the B-21 Raider is ready for action with new lethal bomber capabilities. What specific features differentiate the B-21 Raider from its predecessors? How does it enhance the United States' ability to respond swiftly and decisively during war? Join us as we explore the billion-dollar B-21 that is ready for action. The Northrop Grumman B-21 Raider is a significant advancement in American strategic bomber capabilities. As part of the Long-Range Strike Bomber program, this aircraft is designed to serve as a long-range, stealthy, intercontinental strategic bomber for the USAF, equipped to deploy conventional and thermonuclear weapons. The USAF envisions the B-21 replacing the Rockwell B-1 Lancer and the Northrop Grumman B-2 Spirit by 2040, with the possibility of succeeding the Boeing B-52 Stratofortress after that. The official unveiling ceremony of the B-21 Raider transpired on December 3rd at Northrop Grumman's facility in Palmdale, California, signifying its debut as the inaugural bomber of the 21st century. This significant event was strategically synchronized with a formidable demonstration of power as the B-2 Spirit fleet exhibited their capabilities, underscoring the preparedness of the United States to confront substantial threats. The B-21 Raider is poised to ascend into the skies, embodying an advanced, long-range, large, heavy payload stealth intercontinental strategic bomber for the U.S., in homage to President Theodore Roosevelt's diplomatic philosophy of speak softly and carry a big stick. The B-21 assumes the role of the United States' new formidable presence, the most potent force of its kind. It is a flexible aircraft engineered to perform a range of tasks, including reconnaissance and surveillance for intelligence collection, battle management to enhance alliances across various domains, and serving as a sixth-generation global precision attack platform. This role seamlessly combines stealth, payload capacity, and long-range strike capabilities, delivering America's most potent weapons to vital targets during pivotal missions. The invincibility of the B-21 Raider stems from a myriad of factors that underscore its unparalleled capabilities as a modern aircraft. At the forefront of these factors lies its remarkable stealth capability, drawing upon a history of 5 decades of advancements in low observable technology. The B-21 is meticulously engineered as a stealth aircraft, incorporating intricate features such as precisely aligned edges, serrated skin panels, and a strategic application of fibromat skin to mask the engine. Moreover, the overarching flying wing shape, though currently only partially unveiled, offers a preview of the comprehensive design elements yet to be disclosed. Like its predecessor, the B-2, the B-21 is expected to be coated in anti-reflective paint, strategically reducing its optical visibility during daylight flights. This design extends to the undersides, seamlessly blending the bomber into the sky at altitudes surpassing 50,000 feet. To perpetually maintain this imperceptible quality, an upward-facing light sensor is seamlessly integrated into the B-21, prompting the pilot to adjust altitude based on the evolving illuminance of the sky. In concert, these features converge to craft an invisible bomber, impervious even to the most advanced air defense systems, as it navigates the skies with grace. The B-21 outperforms its predecessors in avionics, featuring a range of advanced and contemporary systems seamlessly integrated into a unified system. This includes a multi-mode radar, a fully digital navigation system intricately connected with terrain-following radar and GPS guidance, an inertial navigation system utilizing celestial bodies for navigation, an ACER radar, an electronic warfare system, a distributed aperture system, and an electro-optical targeting system, among others. High-frequency satellite link. Link 16 facilitates communications on the battlefield, and the flight crew is notified of potential threats by a defense management system. This system also allows real-time adjustments to the auto-router's mission planning information during flight, ensuring rapid adaptation to new data and minimizing exposure to identified dangers for fleet members. Consequently, the B-21 plays a crucial role in the sensor fusion system, like the F-35 Lightning II fighter, acting as an intelligent battle manager. Regarding armament mirroring its forerunner, the B-21 demonstrates formidable firepower, carrying a payload exceeding 30,000 pounds. This extensive arsenal includes a variety of nuclear weapons, such as the B-61 variable-yield nuclear gravity bomb and the long-range standoff nuclear cruise missile. The B-21's capabilities go beyond nuclear weapons, extending to a diverse array of conventional armaments. This versatility positions the aircraft as a dynamic force for direct involvement in global combat operations, inheriting and enhancing the remarkable capabilities of its predecessor, the B-1 Lancer. Notably, the B-21 can deploy Lockheed Martin's long-range anti-ship missile and use modern weapons like Boeing's GPS-guided Joint Direct Attack munition. Engineered for precise engagement from substantial distances, this comprehensive arsenal firmly establishes the B-21 as the epitome of a stealth aircraft, well-suited for addressing surface combatant ships in strategic regions, including the South China Sea. The origins of the B-21 program can be traced back to 2011, when the Air Force initiated strategic planning for this revolutionary aircraft, culminating in the awarding of a major development contract in 2015, prompting the Air Force to issue a request for proposal in July 2014 to formulate an aircraft for the LRS-B program. In October 2015, Northrop Grumman secured a pivotal development contract, marking a significant milestone in the project's progression. Bid protests were filed by Boeing and Lockheed Martin, both of whom submitted unsuccessful bids for the initiative. However, by October 2016, the Government Accountability Office had intervened, dismissing the challenges and affirming the USAF's decision to entrust the LRS-B contract to Northrop Grumman. The GAO's report underscored the pivotal role of cost in favoring Northrop Grumman over the collaborative bid from Boeing and Lockheed Martin. The B-21 Raider, conceived as a versatile platform by the U.S. Air Force, is designed as a bomber and an adaptable system for intelligence collection, battle management, and interception capabilities. Secretary of the Air Force Deborah Lee James highlighted its role as a fifth-generation global precision attack platform in 2016. Northrop Grumman later positioned it as the world's first sixth-generation aircraft, emphasizing its cutting-edge status in aviation technology. Critical milestones included the successful conclusion of the Critical Design Review in December 2018, revealing new renderings in January 2020 that showcased a more compact and lightweight design than its predecessor, the B-2. In September 2022, the USAF announced the B-21's unveiling in December 2022. Northrop Grumman's CEO Kathy Warden highlighted the aircraft's modular design, advanced internal operations, and extended range, positioning the B-21 Raider as a groundbreaking and highly advanced addition to the U.S. Air Force's strategic capabilities. The B-21 is produced and assembled at the United States Air Force Plant 42 near Palmdale, California, using the same facility that Northrop Grumman utilized in the 1980s and 1990s for constructing B-2 bombers. In February 2016, the Air Force Global Strike Command leader anticipated an initial order of 100 B-21s, with the potential for the fleet to expand to a total of 175 to 200 aircraft. Assembly activities commenced, leading to Northrop Grumman being awarded a contract for a coatings facility at Plant 42, specifically designed for stealth coating and completed by the end of 2019. The construction of the first aircraft began in the summer of 2019, and by early 2021, reports confirmed the initiation of construction for the second unit. Confirmation came in June 2021 from Darlene Costello, the Acting Assistant Secretary of the Air Force Acquisition, Technology, and Logistics, that the first two B-21s were under construction at Plant 42. Progress continued, with 6 B-21s under construction by February 2022, and the first B-21 moved to a calibration facility the following month. The workforce involved in the program included approximately 8,000 Northrop Grumman employees, collaborating with over 400 suppliers from at least 40 states. As of September 2023, updates from program authorities suggest that the fueling and engine tests for the B-21 are progressing, aligning smoothly with the expected first test flight projected to take place by the year's end. Confirming this schedule, the B-21 completed its inaugural test flight on November 10, 2023, at the Air Force's Plant 42 in Palmdale, California. This signifies a noteworthy milestone in the aircraft's continuous development and testing phase, underscoring substantial advancements in preparing this innovative bomber for operational readiness. In July 2016, the U.S. Air Force announced its decision not to disclose the estimated cost of Northrop's B-21 contract, citing concerns about revealing sensitive information related to the classified project to potential adversaries. The Senate Armed Services Committee also voted against publicizing the program's cost, limiting the information to congressional defense committees despite objections from a bipartisan group of legislators led by Senator John McCain, the committee's chairman. McCain proposed revisions to the National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2017, aiming to reduce the B-21 program's authorization by $302 million, citing a lower-than-expected contract award value. The proposed revisions also sought stringent program, baseline, and cost control thresholds, quarterly program performance reports, and engineering and manufacturing development total contract award value disclosure. Although the initial versions of the 2017 NDAA from the House and Senate included provisions for public disclosure of the total cost of the B-21, this provision was ultimately omitted in the final conference report version. By December 2022, the estimated cost of a single B-21 aircraft stood at $700 million, and Air Force officials projected a minimum expenditure of $203 billion over 30 years for the development, purchase, and operation of a fleet comprising 100 B-21s. Tinker Air Force Base, Oklahoma, will manage the B-21, while Edwards Air Force Base, California, will lead testing and evaluation activities. Operational bases for the B-21 are expected to include Dyess Air Force Base, Texas, Ellsworth Air Force Base, South Dakota, and Whiteman Air Force Base, Missouri. Ellsworth was selected in March 2019 as the base to host both the first operational B-21 unit and the inaugural training unit. The envisioned role for the B-21 in the fleet revolves around replacing the aging U.S. Air Force inventory, consisting of 45 B-1 strategic bombers from the 1980s and 20 B-2 strategic bombers from the 1990s, by the year 2040. Furthermore, there is a prospect for the B-21 to eventually supersede the B-52, which is set to remain in service for an extended period. In contrast, the B-52H Stratofortress, affectionately known as the Buff, an acronym for Big, Ugly, Fat Fellow, stands resolute as the guardian of the skies within the formidable United States Air Force arsenal. Its remarkable capabilities are underscored by impressive statistics: a formidable ascent rate of 31.85 meters per hour, a maximum speed reaching 1,000 kilometers per hour, and an expansive range covering over 15,137 kilometers. Soaring to a majestic service ceiling of 15,151 meters, this strategic behemoth reaches awe-inspiring altitudes of up to 15,240 meters. Weighing an impressive 83,250 kilograms, this colossal aircraft boldly demonstrates its power, with a maximum takeoff weight reaching an impressive 220,000 kilograms. Its substantial length of 159 feet 4 inches emphasizes its formidable presence. Beyond its size, the B-52H's all-metal skin plays a crucial role in its flight dynamics, seamlessly adapting as the crew compartment transforms. With an astounding weapons payload surpassing 70,000 pounds, the B-52H is a versatile platform capable of carrying the most diverse array of weapons among combat aircraft. In terms of nuclear weaponry, it includes 12 AGM-129 advanced cruise missiles, 20 AGM-86A air-launched cruise missiles, and 8 bombs. Its conventional weapons payload encompasses 8 AGM-84 Harpoon missiles, 4 AGM-142 Raptor missiles, 51,500-pound bombs, 301,000-pound bombs, 20 AGM-86C conventional air-launched cruise missiles, 12 joint standoff weapons, 12 joint direct attack munitions, and 16 wind-corrected munitions dispensers. Noteworthy instances of the B-52's adaptability were witnessed in 2002 during the Afghanistan conflict, where WCMD was deployed, and in 2003 during Operation Iraqi Freedom, where JSOW was introduced, underscoring its continued relevance in modern warfare. The B-52H's versatility extends to its capability to deploy Navy mines weighing 51,500 pound, 301,000 pound, and 202,000 pound, underscoring its adaptability across various mission profiles. The B-52H Stratofortress has advanced electronic countermeasures and detection systems for electronic warfare. Taking a central role is the ITT-ANALQ-172V.2 electronic countermeasures system, featuring multi-band threat recognition and the ability to jam multiple threats. In tandem, the AN/ALR-20A radar warning system acts as a vigilant detector, proficient in identifying and prioritizing numerous threats. The Northrop Grumman AN/ALR-46 digital warning receiver expands the aircraft's threat detection capabilities by pinpointing radar emissions in the 2 GHz to 18 GHz band, simultaneously identifying up to 16 radar signals to enhance the B-52's situational awareness. Northrop Grumman's ANALQ-155 Jammer Power Management System offers comprehensive 360-degree coverage in the D, E, F, G, and H radar bands, reinforcing the aircraft's defenses against diverse threats. The B-52H is outfitted with the Motorola AN/ALQ-122 multiple false target generator, the AN/ALT-32 noise jammer, and the Northrop Grumman AN/ALQ-153 tail warning set, a pulse Doppler threat warner. Together, these systems contribute to the B-52H's proficiency in navigating and operating in contested environments, heightening its survivability on the contemporary battlefield. Augmenting its defensive capabilities are 12 AN/AL-20 infrared flare dispensers and 8 launchers for the AN/AL-24 chaff dispenser. These countermeasures add a layer of protection, enabling the B-52H to evade and deter potential threats. In October 2011, a $45 million firm fixed-price contract was granted to Radiant Technologies to replace the radomes of Boeing B-52 Stratofortress bombers. This initiative is part of the Defense Logistics Agency's radome replacement program, aimed at ensuring the reliability and effectiveness of the aircraft's radar and communication systems. Examining the aircraft's sensory capabilities, the nose section accommodates steerable chin turrets for the AN/ASQ-151 electro-optical viewing system. This system incorporates the Raytheon AN/AAQ-6 forward-looking infrared in the starboard turret and the Northrop Grumman AN/AVQ-22 low light level television camera in the port turret. The images captured by the EVS are prominently displayed on monochrome screens on both the flight and lower deck, enhancing the crew's situational awareness and targeting capabilities. The offensive avionics system of the B-52H, designated NASQ-176, is a comprehensive suite integrating various components, including a Northrop Grumman strategic radar, Honeywell radar, altimeter, Smith's attitude heading and reference system, Tercom terrain comparison, Teledyne Ryan Doppler navigation radar, Honeywell NASN-131 inertial navigation system, and an IBM Raytheon AN/ASQ-38 bombing and navigation system. Recognizing the need for continuous improvement, the U.S. Air Force awarded Boeing a $108 million contract in January 2000 to upgrade the OAS. This initiative, part of the B-52 Avionics Midlife Improvement Program, introduced the SNU-84 INS, replacing the existing inertial navigation system. The avionics computers underwent upgrades with faster processors, and a new data transfer system was implemented, enhancing the aircraft's overall avionics capabilities. Flight testing of the AMI began in December 2002, and over 20 AMI kits were delivered to the USAF for installation by field teams. This comprehensive upgrade addressed the evolving technological landscape, ensuring the B-52 remained at the forefront of avionics innovation. The formidable B-52H Stratofortress is powered by 8 Pratt & Whitney TF-33P3 turbofan engines, each delivering a thrust exceeding 17,000 pounds. These engines drive the aircraft's exceptional performance and capability to fulfill its strategic missions. The B-52H's fueling capabilities are equally impressive, featuring 10 internal and 2 external fuel tanks, with a total capacity exceeding 181,000 liters. This substantial fuel reservoir empowers the aircraft with an unrefueled range surpassing 8,600 miles. Such extensive operational reach positions the B-52H as a global force capable of reaching virtually any location on Earth from its continental U.S. base. The integration of turbofan engines enhances the unrefueled range and equips the aircraft with unparalleled flexibility. This enhanced capability allows the B-52H to execute precision strikes on targets worldwide with the convenience of a single air refueling. Even with just one refueling, the operational range spans 7,800 nautical miles, showcasing the aircraft's adaptability and strategic reach. Despite the impressive capabilities of the B-52 Stratofortress, the anticipation surrounding the B-21 Raider suggests a new era of strategic aviation excellence. The B-21 Raider is expected to match the competence of its predecessor, the B-52, and surpass it in several key aspects as it competes with Russia's Tupolev Tu-160. The Tupolev Tu-160, distinguished by its variable geometry wing design, incorporates advanced features that establish its reputation as a formidable strategic bomber, manned by a 4-person crew comprising a pilot, co-pilot, bombardier, and defensive systems operator. The aircraft employs a fly-by-wire control system alongside a blended wing profile. With an empty weight of 110 tons, approximately 30% of the Tu-160's composition comprises titanium, with the swing wing hinge emerging as the heaviest component at 6 tons. Powered by 4 Kuznetsov NK32 afterburning turbofan engines, the Tu-160 boasts the most potent engines ever installed on a combat aircraft. Diverging from the American B-1B Lancer, the Tu-160 retains variable intake ramps, enabling it to achieve an impressive Mach 2.05 speed at altitude. This strategic bomber features a crew ejection system with K-36LM seats for all members. Facilitated by a probe and drogue in-flight refueling system, the Tu-160 possesses an internal fuel capacity of 130 tons, augmenting its range for extended missions. While the refueling system is seldom utilized, it showcased its capabilities in a 2008 air combat exercise involving Tu-160 bombers and Il-78 refueling tankers. The Tu-160 integrates a radar system, including a TSNPO Leninets Obzor-K radar for tracking ground and air targets, alongside a Sopka terrain-following radar. Despite attempts to reduce detectability, it is crucial to acknowledge that the Tu-160 is not classified as a stealth aircraft. The Tu-160's armament is housed in 2 internal bays, each capable of accommodating 20,000 kilograms of free-fall weapons or a rotary launcher for nuclear missiles. The overall weapon load capacity is an impressive 40,000 kilograms. In a departure from the post-World War II Soviet bomber tradition, the Tu-160 lacks defensive weapons. Plans involve arming the Tu-160 with new hypersonic missiles, such as the K-47M2 Kinjal, as announced in 2020. This forward-looking strategy underscores the continuous evolution and enhancement of the Tu-160's capabilities, cementing its status as a cutting-edge strategic bomber. Thanks for watching. While you are still here, click on the link on your screen to check out another of our videos. See you there.